you have like with today's ETH price and like today's gas cost of like 12 Gwei, I think it's going to cost you about $300, $350 to end a stake that's Quattro Cinco, 5.5 or 5.5. Well, so therein lies like one of the the biggest reason for PulseChain coming down the pipe is that with ETH prices going up and like gas will not stay here once prices start going back up, this will become very, very large. What else? Richard's been fairly active as of late. So up here
I had a stream today.
I don't know, I was tuned in and out of it for a bit. The other thing that I really enjoyed, he did a Spaces, like a Twitter Spaces the other day with I'm not sure who, but then afterwards he talked to, I think he's called Hex Tangent or Ultimate Tangent. With
I saw comments about this. What the heck happened
with maybe Capital TA? And I think like so far I'm an hour through an hour and 23 of it, and it's basically Hex Tangent arguing for like pro Bitcoin and then Richard arguing against. So you hit a lot of like similar topics and similar arguments that you've heard if you've listened to Richard at all up until now. And I honestly think like so far they're pretty, I don't know, pretty normal about it, like just talking each other's side or each other's point. Like Richard's fairly vulgar as he usually is, but like it seems like in good spirits for the most part. I haven't quite finished it, but I've been really enjoying this. It's really just him going through most of like the Bitcoin talking points against like a local hexagon or current hexagon. So now the next thing I have is like a little bit more pertaining to broad markets. The big one that's coming out this week is some inflation data.
Oh, is it CPI?
Yeah.
Oh, July 13th,
on Wednesday. So we've got CPI, core consumer price index monthly, core CPI monthly, and then year over year.
This is going to be important. What was last month? I think 8.3% or 8.6%. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was right around there. But yeah, I think the important thing to know here is, well, I'll wait till exercise comes back. I think I lost them there for a second. But, you know, when it comes to core CPI or just CPI in general, I think what's most important for us to talk about is not only the numbers. Yes, they're high. Everybody knows that now. It's obvious. People are all paying attention to it. But what is the Federal Reserve actually looking for? And what has their talk so far been really conveying to us? And what are they looking for conviction-wise before they potentially pivot and change and do that about face everybody keeps talking about, right? But exercise, you're back now. I thought I lost it for a second there.
Yeah, that's the second time. I don't know what's going on with my connection. That I've been dropped briefly.
CPI.
Yeah, so you are right. The previous
was it 8.6?
Data point was 8.6, and currently the median forecast is above that at 8.8.
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh. Again.
Yeah. So here's a key thing to recognize. They wanted inflation not go really above 3 to 5%, and they thought it was going to be transitory. We saw that narrative stay the course for a while, and then they totally undershot it, right? It got totally way too hot, way out of control. And so historically, they're going to typically way overshoot this. So people are thinking they're going to way overshoot this, and they're just going to kill inflation. They're going to absolutely kill it. So they're just going to totally, I think I wouldn't even be surprised to see a full 1 percentage point raise next month, because they did a 75 basis point last month. And they are committed. They are not going to stop. They do not care about the markets. They don't care about people's retirements. They don't care about any of that right now.
Yeah.
And like we said a few streams ago, nobody's talking about this. Only a few people are. Remember I said a few streams ago, the narrative is inflation. Yes, they don't want inflation. The narrative is inflation. What they really want is to bring back strength to the US dollar. And we'll talk about that in a bit. Remember we talked about that? They want strength in US dollar. Nobody's talking about this. It's like, oh my God, the dollar is just getting so strong. Oh my God, like what is this magical phenomenon? There's the euro parity. Like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? What is so different about this as well? This has happened almost every time they've hiked rates. It's just, you know, we're in a very different spot geopolitically now. So we could look at the DXY chart later, but the point is I think not a year over year, but a month to month, they're looking for inflation to not only peak, but start to come back down. Whether that starts at 2%, 2.5%, whatever is another story. But the Federal Reserve is certainly convicted about this, and they're going to continue to do this and shove it in the market's face, in the bond market's face. Because even the bond market right now is pricing in basically the bond market is pricing in that the Federal Reserve can't raise rates past maybe 2%. They're saying, hey, yeah, you know what? I know you forecasted you want to go above 2%, but we don't.
Yeah.
So we're gonna price this in at this interest rate on the 5-year Treasury or whatever the yield is you're looking at, right?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So the Reserve is going to have to come in and be like, no, F off. Like, we're going to raise even higher than you think now and spook you and show you that we're actually going to do this. So that's what I think is going to be happening here, especially if CPI comes in and it's higher again. If it's still getting hotter, even after a 75 basis point hike, dude.
Yeah.
The markets there's 100 million% more pain coming before things can get better. And anybody who is smoking anything will be saying otherwise. Other than that, there's a lot of tightening going on. It hasn't even really fully started yet, and look what the markets have done.
No doubt.
Anyway,
you did an unbelievably good explanation of what happened during the early times. Yeah, there was a little feud within the moon gangers and all that other thing, but like, no, the moon gangers are full on hexagons now for real. Like, we turned that ship around. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only a matter of time before people realize what the power of Hex really is, what the Hex ecosystem, what Richard's done really is, and it was very easy to FUD in the beginning to sit on that side because all of crypto was on that side, right? I mean, it was
it was impossible. You couldn't. It was. I remember the day before Hex launched, nothing was going on, no FUD articles, nothing. It was like just, we're about to launch tomorrow, cool. Then the day it launched.
Boom.
Bam! We got slammed with like article after article after article at like smear campaign YouTubers talking about like, oh my God, man. It was pretty bad.
If you don't have anything nice to say, Mom says don't say it at all, right?
I have one complaint though. One complaint. To tell you the truth, like I like Richard with the beard. I don't know. I don't like this whole like shape.
Yeah, the smooth thing's gotta go, man.
Yeah.
He's looking as bad as I do smooth. I look like
he looks good with the beard. I was like, wow, he looks good with the beard. But like, I don't know. I mean, the fashion shoot stuff was funny as hell, though.
Us old guys with round faces, when we shave, if we don't have a suit and tie on or something, we look like lesbians, bro. That's just, I don't know what to tell you. What? We just look like old lesbians is what we look like.
Dude, that took a left turn.
It's done the space a lot of good, I think. I think that there's a lot of people that are going to gravitate towards that message after this last reckoning of everyone, I mean, gosh, man, there was so much money that was lost this time,
I mean, I have a good friend of mine, Plan C, who's like pretty much he's basically top 2, top 3 on-chain analytics guys. And a good buddy of mine, most of the on-chain analytics guys couldn't see what was going on because there was so much stuff going on centralized exchanges that you couldn't see, right? So it was obscuring some of the data, as well as you ended up having some problems with Glassnode. Glassnode's like a big operator who they're the foremost expert in. I mean, they're the company with the most information on Bitcoin holders, basically, and lightly Ethereum holder, but mostly Bitcoin. And some of their data points were wrong. And we've been speculating that it was on purpose as well, because it was showing like, long-term hodlers are buying and buying, but then it ended up coming out that wasn't true at all. So it was
now I have a little theory on that one too. I think that because of the transparency of what some of these players were doing, that they were helping to shield some of that. Because I mean, think about it: 3 Arrows Capital, you can see everything they were doing. Celsius, you can see everything they were doing, but for some reason, it didn't get caught until the end. Cool that we can see everything and we can now trace it and go, oh, well, this is what look at you guys. Look at the fuckery here that you guys created. But for some reason, that was skewed earlier on. We weren't seeing it. And now we can. Now we can do the chain analysis and see, oh, look who's giving them money now. Oh, look at how much they're borrowing now, how much these wallets are leveraging now. Like I read an article this morning, 3 Arrows Capital guys are freaking to the winds, dude. They're gone. They're in hiding right now.
They ran. They ran out of Singapore.
Suzu, whatever his name is. And he was walking around here like a peacock with his feathers all unruffled, like, look at me, look at me.
Last I heard, so obviously, no. Hey, this is what I heard from the streets. And this is not what but last I heard, they used company funds to go buy a yacht.
That's what they said, that there were the company funds were told to release them so that they can start making repayments back or whatever. and they bailed on the meetings. They went to some of the Zoom meetings. They didn't show up. They went to some of the Zoom meetings and didn't have cameras or mics on. They just sat there and listened to what they're being told to do.
The big thing was like they were buying a yacht in order to crowdfund money again. Was the big last thing I heard from Susan. Yeah, seriously. And then from there, so that was the third last news. And the second to last news was basically they were filing Chapter 15 bankruptcy, which is basically means in internet, multi. So it's like it covers like 48 countries in terms because they had users who have funds in all these countries. And then from there, like no one can find them in Singapore. They ran. Shit, dude.
Thanks for the next 1999, Nellyville. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Oh, Nellyville, what's going on, buddy? Shit, yeah.
Good old days. It says so cool to see you guys streaming together like the good old days. Fuck yeah, yeah, buddy.
It was a sick party, man. Nice. One of the few communities throwing a party in the bear market.
Yeah, I know. We're getting ready for PulseCon too. That's going to be another big party out there. Whole bunch of parties going on.
Super excited to speak at the event as well. Yeah.
Sweet. So let's keep talking about this macro bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk.
And these guys, and even Michael Saylor's dumbass and all them talking about the only true cryptos, the only assets that should be called commodities are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and all the rest.
He said Ethereum now.
Curious. Yeah, now they're saying Ethereum because Ethereum got its pass. Ethereum has a pass. Ethereum was fined for potentially being, I don't know exactly what their fine was for. It was for potentially being a security or whatever, and they got fined. And then they gave them a reprieve and said, okay, you guys are all right. It's all good. Go ahead and conduct your business.
Oh, I think it was for the ICO.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's just such a tough thing because we all know like your keys are crypto, right? You want to hold your own keys as much as viably possible, right? But you also have a huge amount of people that don't know anything about crypto, and then they're just trying to get in because they feel like they're going to miss out, basically, or like let me squirrel some money around. Let me leave all my Ethereum on Coinbase or whatever it is, like that's how people start off, right? But it's just educating people, and then keep getting people to know about Hex, and then from there, they start really learning about how to control their own keys and crypto and everything. But I really do believe that like it's just a cycle. Like we're always like all the OGs and like people right now learn like let me get all my coins into places where I control them, and then what happens is we get the next batch, the next cycle when the prices go high, and then people get loose with their morals basically or their stuff, and then they get caught with their pants down again when the tide goes in,
Yeah.
And this is just a cycle. It just keeps happening and over. I mean, this happened in 2017. But obviously, we didn't have as much DeFi back then. But still, there's scams up the butt, basically. And it's. I mean, you remember 2017? I mean, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was in every single one of them. The only one I didn't get in was BitConnect. I was in everything else. Everything else. I missed BitConnect. I was like, damn it! But I got into everything else.
Yeah. And, I wish I could remember. I mean, I went back when we were streaming when we first started Discourse Syndicate. Like, I used to be able to say the names of some of these YouTubers. I used to remember them. I don't even remember these fuckers anymore. They're all gone and dead and stuff. But there was a couple guys back in the day that were pretty trusted guys and stuff, and like they were pretty real like maximalistish, just Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's it. And then I remember watching a stream of them, and then them going, I threw a little money into BitConnect. The greed, even then, like it's just the money got so crazy for them. It's like, I have that, but I'm like, but exposing their people to BitConnect, basically. It's still, and that's what happens. I mean, I really do believe it's just a thing. Like, I mean, everyone's making crazy money. It's like it's just is what it is for a while, and then we kind of get slapped back to reality a bit,
Hey, so
hey, how's it going?
Hey,
how you going, guys?
Bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks very much. How you guys going?
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
Don't let us interrupt, Bluey. If you're in the middle of a sentence, you can go for it.
Go ahead, yeah.
Well, I was just about to mention that I don't know if you saw last night, but Dipcatcher did a stream, and they've announced like further plans for all of their plans. Like they're going to be releasing.
Which project is Dipcatcher again?
Maximus Cash, right? And so they're going to be releasing Team and base. And last night they basically announced 3 more coins, 3 more tokens. You're going to have Trio, Lucky, and Desi. And so Trio is going to be like a 3-year rolling stake. Lucky is going to be a 7-year rolling stake, and Desi is going to be a 10-year rolling stake.
Yo, I'm going to quote that chick, the junkie chick from BoJack Horseman. Quote, "That's too much, man."
The thing is with Maxi, because it's at such a premium now, like it's almost like you almost double
just do another one. Just do another one. Like as in just do another Maxi, like another max stake.
Well, there's some people who don't want to wait that long.
Yeah, the rolling stakes are good in the sense that after a year.
You don't have to wait shit because you can sell it at literally any time because it's liquid.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Yeah, from that point of view.
Yeah, but you're not waiting shit.
Because it's already
higher. You're just getting a higher yield. You're just getting a higher yield. It's literally just as liquid. You're just getting a higher yield because it's a 15-year stake.
No, you don't know how liquid. Sorry, you don't know how liquid each will be.
You could actually argue the
10. Each will be.
No, it's fully 100% liquid because you can't lock.
Yeah, but you don't know how. Okay, so with Maxi,
don't confuse liquidity and how liquid the holding is. Liquidity is different to whether or not the asset you bought is liquid. So these tokens that represent a stake, they are 100% fully liquid. You can literally sell them and buy them at any time. There's no lock.
Yes, but they might not be like, yes, Maximus jumped out to that massive premium, but these other ones might not necessarily go to that massive premium.
Yeah, but
let's say you get a base.
We can't predict what happens with speculation. So the speculation will always be unknown, though. So that's not the point. That's not the point. It's in terms of, it's just that maybe the 10-year one, because there's no additional bonuses for longer pays better after 10 years, right? So maybe the 10-year one you could say is like okay to do, but in my opinion, they should have just done another 15-year one.
Mango Junkie was saying that that you miss out on the Hedron though.
The Hedron will be less on a 10 than a 15.
The Hedron goes to the team. No, the Hedron goes to the team people.
For which one? For which one? All of them.
If you do
all of them
for the base.
All of them, even Maxi.
No. For the
surely not
Maxi.
No,
not
Maxi.
Maxi doesn't. No,
Maxi. Maxi, the Hedron goes to the users, right?
So I think you can stake team. So you can do a 1-to-1 mint for your Maxi, and you can get team, and then you can effectively stake team. I know this is a bit meta.
Yo, someone is going to have to come up with a very convincing reason as to why you would do this over just always doing 15s. Because to me, it's literally just the liquidity, the how liquid your stake is.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And how liquid it is. And the whole point of this is that you can have a 15-year stake that is fully liquid.
Yeah. Well, so I remember talking about this with you a couple of months back, and it was one of those like things where I was just like brushing my teeth or whatever, and I was just like, I wonder if they're going to be able to create a way to stake Maxi. And then we were like, nah, that's stupid, because the whole point of Maxi is that it's like a liquid stake. But that's effectively
the whole point of it is to keep it liquid.
Well, I was like, yeah, that probably is stupid, but effectively a team, because you're minting one Maxi for one team, and then you're able to stake the team. It's effectively like you're staking Maxi. But it's like, what's the point of that?
Thing is, right?
Unless it was a soft lock. If it was a soft lock, then that would be okay.
I think the emergency end stakes are not as bad.
So say if there was an opportunity to soft lock Maxi for an incentive, i.e. like one of those like pancake style pools where you can unlock it literally at any time or with like a small delay, then I would say, yeah, that's okay, I guess. But to have something that actually does a real lock, like a hex style lock on Maxi, is stupid, because the whole point of Maxi is to not have that. Is to have the ability to sell it whenever you want. Yeah,
and it's not locked.
That's one of the main value props of Maxi.
Yeah, and I think the other
value prop for all of these other tokens is that you don't have to pay the end staking fee.
Someone is going to left to foot the bill.
No. The contract will do it.
Oh, okay. I thought someone was going to pay the gas to end it after the.
Yeah. No, the way the base and all of the 3-1 and the 7-year one and the 10-year one work is that for a week each year, people can redeem whatever hex they want. Like for base, once a year for a week, people can redeem whatever hex they want out of it after a year.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that they can take out, or they can put in for the next year's one, or they can let it roll over. Yeah, and so with the 3-year, that'll be the same thing with the 3-year, but that'll be every 3 years, and the 7-year, that'll be every 7 years.
Right.
And so if you're someone sitting there with liquid hex, like they make it worthwhile, because to buy one of these tokens or to get one of these tokens, you'll give hex.
You can always
you'll always be able to pull it out liquid. Or you'll be able to pull it out for the hex after a year, or after 3 years, or after 7 years, or whatever.
Yeah.
So even though you're not getting, like, there's 50% of that bigger pays better bonus that is going to all of the team stakers.
Right.
You're still getting a better deal, because you wouldn't be able to get that bigger pays better bonus by yourself.
Exactly.
So at least you'll get half of the bigger pays better bonus from everyone sort of going into it.
Hey, I just want to clarify that this comment that I just featured is actually back from when I was saying about how the maxi stuff should just all be 15-year ones. So just because I don't want it to make it look like I'm bringing this comment up to make it sound like T-Bird's agreeing with me on me winning the debate or drawing the debate or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Context.
Did you see? Did you see Mango Junkie's content? He watched your 5-hour response video 3 times.
3 times.
Have a look, Mango Junkie's comment.
What? That's epic.
That's a long day.
Yeah, it's the average. It's the average ROI.
But that's look at the top, man. This is weird. It scales all the way up to average. The ones, if there were one staker, right?
He would get
no, not one staker. 1% of supply. 1% of supply.
But we are at
if only 1% of the supply is staked, that average ROI on that 1% is 369% APY. Yeah, but it differs based on how many bonuses and how many T-shares and so on.
I just click on Rect Hex Plebs, and there's this like forwarded thing. BTC Bull, Michael Saylor. Ethereum is obviously a security.
I don't understand why people want it to be to be a security. It's worse for all of crypto if it is a security. It's worse for everyone.
I don't know, just because it's not.
People
pumping.
Shouldn't root for that.
No,
it's the crypto tribalism. Saylor owns BTC, so he wants that to pump. But unfortunately for Saylor, that shit, it's on top of its S-curve, so fuck you, Mike.
He doesn't understand though. It's Saylor wrecked. It's so sad. Like, he doesn't understand that if Ethereum is wrecked, then Bitcoin is mega wrecked, mega wrecked, because it has less features. It's just gonna kill all of the crypto markets, and then everybody's losing out. It's so stupid.
I say it. I unapologetically love Richard Hart. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I unapologetically love Richard Hart.
You see the irony, right? Because you started that with "I'm sorry."
I know. I feel like I know it's ironic. I understand, but he is kind of a walking paradox in a lot of ways. I think himself.
Yeah.
So I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, of course.
He is the most fascinating person in crypto. He is definitely more fascinating than me by a long shot.
He wanted to get that clip into the documentary. End of story.
Really?
Of course.
That's cool.
Well done, finally, BitBoy. And you're not going to talk about PulseChain. Oh, you sacrificed for it, so you're not going to talk about it. Show your love. Talk about PulseChain. How deep is your love?
Speaking of love about PulseChain, what's up with the book? Anybody have like a rundown for me, because I completely missed that one. So apparently there is a new Hex Phenomenon book by Matt Garabedian. I've seen a few people post it on Twitter, buying a bunch of them. So I know there's been an older book. Is this a different guy?
It's a different guy.
I I don't have a comparison. I have to open.
No,
it
I have the first
search
one,
for it
but
again.
that's more like a Swedish Norwegian name.
I bought a bunch of the old version, and I'll probably buy it again because I'm giving them out to people that I meet and don't have time to talk to. So just hand them the book. Is this similar? Like you can just give it to someone and then all the hacks is explained in it?
I have no idea.
Or what is it? Or is it just like a history book?
Simulation.
So I have my top 2000 staker file, and I have a note there that says free arrow, possibly free arrow capital. There is no liquid hacks. So this is the top address that might be free arrow capital. And I think I took that from the video of, what was it you said? What's his name again? Silver the Antidote?
Silver,
yeah, I think I got that information from the same video. So
You're
2025 is the earliest stake, and then everything else is longer out.
Just 200 million.
But 228, that's a big one. So that's a 5-year stake that they have going there, I guess. 5 or 6 years.
Nah, that's nothing.
Just 26,000 t-shirts.
Oh no, it's wrong. Actually, it's $1 billion in 2031. So $1 billion for 10 years.
It's 8 billion hacks in total, yeah. But if they emerge, oh my god! So there is the bullish case and there is the bearish case. The bearish case, as we said just now, is that they're gonna dump it on the market, so that would reduce price. But the bullish case is they're gonna emergency end stake, and that would ramp up the payouts for all the stakers.
You're spreading FUD this bomb.
No, I'm staked. I want them to emergency end stake. I want that payout, baby. Oh my god, that would be amazing, actually. Especially the longer stake, because they wouldn't get out the hacks from the 2036, 31, and 30 stake if they emergency end stake. That would be nuked almost completely.
But they wouldn't be that
even if
stupid.
They get out,
come on.
No, seriously. Even if they get out just a little bit, they might be forced to end stake by the liquidators.
Nah.
So depending on the laws in their region or whatever, if they have to emergency end stake
you're forgetting about one thing. The Zusu has bought the yacht, and he will lose all the crypto keys in the
boat accident.
Oh yes, of course.
Let it bleed.
So liquidators can liquidate something, nothing.
Hey, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much. So good to be here. Woo.
We're glad to have you. I've watched some of your stuff, and you probably heard me, but I mean, you're extremely busy, and I want to just first always say thank you for all that you do for the community, and just like I'll speak from a women's side and for women in general. You two are just like doing great things, and I have a daughter that's 16. I look at people like you that like we need more, right? So thank you for that.
Yeah, much appreciated. I wouldn't have it any other way. I seriously feel like I've finally found my place in the world, and I'm just so happy to be here doing all this work. Like it's so meaningful and so fulfilling. Like seriously.
Yeah, that's cool. I like when you go at something that like is challenging. Like you get out of that comfort zone, which is really cool to hear. So you kind of talked about it, but how did you was the Sci-Vive, is that the first narration you've done, or have you done stuff in the past? Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah, that was the first.
Wow.
The only other thing I've done on voice work is for Blizzard Entertainment. That was the video game company that I worked for. Okay. They had me do their voice, their IVR. Thank you for calling Blizzard Entertainment. Like their whole like press 1 for, yeah. So I did that, but that's the only thing that I had done in previous.
So I'm curious on how long did it take you to do that? I mean, was it a long process?
So yeah. It's 22 hours of recorded audio, and it probably took me about 45 hours.
Wow.
A little more than double to do the whole thing, because there were words I had to look up. There were people's names I had to look up. If you look on my channel, you'll see there's outtakes.
Oh, really?
So you can, yeah. There's Sci-Vive outtakes. There's like a few of them that I did, and you can hear me just messing up the whole time. It's very silly, but yeah, it was quite the endeavor.
Wow.
Can we talk about the
PulseChain online conference a little bit. What day are you going on? Do you know who you're on panel with?
Yeah, so it's actually just me. I'm going to be doing my own 20-minute segment, and I feel very honored. I'm going to be right before Richard.
Nice.
So yeah, Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday the 16th, and I'll be on from 8:40 Saturday. Yeah, Saturday the 16th, this Saturday.
Okay.
From
Is it on that?
PM.
Is it on that I can't
calendar?
Yeah, what Maddie put out?
Yeah, it should be on there.
I didn't notice that one, so I'm gonna have to check that out. But I'm excited to see that. That's great.
Yeah, it'll be probably very similar to this kind of conversation we're having. I'm just going to talk about Sci-Vive, talk about Fix the World, and read a little bit about that, and just talk about how awesome I think Richard is and who he is. Like I don't know if Maddie did that on purpose, but it's really cool that I get to speak right before him, because I want to just kind of like pump his love bags, like here, these are all the reasons that you should love Richard Hart.
Some people and actually gas fees are pretty low right now. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like, this is, I'm not telling you to go buy or anything, but I'm saying, I think that Ethereum's going to have to do something to compete. And I think the gas fees are going to be a lot lower than what we've seen. So that's just my feeling on it.
Yeah. 10 years from now, I'm sure that they would have switched over to, different system.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us what you would like tell people right now in the bear market.
Yeah, absolutely. The last 2 streams I've done on my Sci-Vive Sundays, I had who came first? Hold on. Oh, my brain. Oh, RG3 and then Hexo, because that's what I wanted to know. Was how did you guys do it? How have you gone through these cycles in the past, right? And how are you faring right now, and how does this all work? So a lot of this is going to come from those 2 streams, and I'm hoping to have Motley's kind of a maybe for this weekend, and I want to bring a lot of the people who have been in the system for a lot longer, so that they can talk about how they've survived through multiple bear markets already, right? The thing that I hear the most is it's 2 things. DCA, while you're in a bear market, just keep dollar cost averaging your finances into this asset and just do nothing. Yeah. Hold and go take a break, take a vacation. Don't look at the price. Pick up an extra, like people keep talking about, go mow some lawns or wash some cars and get some extra cash to DCA in if if you want to, or just take care of yourself. And for me, in terms of like Sci-Vival and positivity, it really, I mean, I have the Staker app, but I don't look at it on the daily, I don't check the price even daily, because I'm just so into the present moment. And that's a huge thing, for me. That's like my piece of advice, is to be present with your family, be present with your friends, be present with the people around you. If you can, this is a great time to onboard, that's again, that kind of goes back into crypto, but it really is a good time to just be talking about, the possibilities and the expansion that this can bring to all of us in the future. It's a great, like people are building. It's a good time to build. It's a good time. This is a good time to set a solid foundation so that when things get crazy, and they're going up and down even more so, right? Like at a very erratic rate, then you are solid. You're set. Think about what you want to do. If you haven't tried the PulseChain testnet yet, mess around on testnet. Yeah. Make sure that you're ready for that. Make sure that you're all of your shit secure. Like get your Trezor, get your Ledger, get your washers. Put your seed phrase on something that's metal, and really just set a solid foundation and a solid basis for what's to come. Because y'all,
absolutely, I'm with you 100%. I believe that this is the best time for you to be learning. I think that when we're in a bull market or when we're seeing green candles, people don't take the time to like learn what their project is about or what that token is about. They just ape into it, right? And so now that we're in this period where it doesn't feel like a rush to decide on where you're going to put your investment, you can actually learn, the tokenomics behind it. You can learn what type of admin keys or lack thereof there are, you know, and all the different variables that can affect the price of the token that you're investing in.
It just seems like every year it just gets faster and faster. But no, just one of the projects that I've been working on is kind of a new and innovative approach to health. It's a platform that's going to have a lot of different health coaches on it, natural health, because I'm a firm believer that one of the things that we learned, you know, coming out of the COVID era was that we have a very much a health problem in the United States. I'm not sure about everywhere else, but you know, we have a health problem. And I've said this numerous times, when you look at the explosion of growth, like it seems like every new construction that's going on, every expansion that's going on is either like an ER or some type of medical clinic, and that industry just continues to grow and grow and grow. And here in the United States, per capita, we spend more than any other country, but yet we have the worst health outcomes. And I'm not mad at doctors, I'm not mad at nurses or anything like that, but I think we can do a lot better in terms of getting back to a natural, like more of a holistic type approach to healthcare. So one of my friends, and her name's Dr. K, Dr. Terry Kukovic, you know, she launched this platform called Achieve Quality of Life, and we have 30 health coaches coming aboard, everything from a nutritionist, exercise, science, just focused on natural solutions to help people. Because I think I love that. It's just long overdue. And what our primary focus was on at the beginning was care providers, because, you know, through different types of ailments, whatever it is, whether it's cancer, autism, whatever type of health, sometimes the actual providers, the people that are taking care of those loved ones, their health, you know, becomes at risk where they don't take care of themselves. So we're kind of focusing on that. We're going to do, like, you know, webinars, like just make it like a fun platform in itself that's outside of, you know, a Facebook group, whatever. It's launched on a program called the Mighty Networks, and the Mighty Networks allows businesses to basically scale on there and create brands. And I'm going to be kicking off, because last October I did the Sober October, where I went an entire month without drinking. And now that may not seem like a challenge to you guys on here, but that was a huge challenge to me, especially after COVID, because I think all of us were smoking.
If a month is a challenge, bro, you might have a problem. If you don't get help here, go get help somewhere.
But I made it through. I made it through, and it was good, and I felt great. But I kind of fell back into old habits, and so long story short, I think here August 1st, I'm going to be dropping a new kind of like a 30-day challenge to not only to detox, but a focus on health as well. So the best investment that you can make is on yourself and your own health. It's got to start there.
100%. Sorry, this is so, not
hold on 1 second, everybody. We've got something that we've got to take care of here. Hold that thought, buddy. Yep.
No, don't put me up with Lady Boy. What's up, Lady Boy?
Hey, baby. Do you know I love to hate you? We have to do this. You know? But you started it.
How much did you pay Captain to make this happen? Just so you could harass me one-on-one.
So I just want everyone, for the record, to know who started this. This was Kinetics.
No.
And for this week,
I said in a green room. I said no. In a green room. I said, prove it. I don't believe that you're a chick, and that's where this all started from, because you said no.
The very last person in the world is going to be you who's going to see me. I'm going to show up to every event, and I promise. Now listen, to everyone, I want someone to clip this. I even tried to, what is it called? We started this session tonight, and I said, hello, gentlemen, including you. And then you had to respond with, tell him what you responded with. Go ahead, Kinetics.
I don't even remember. That was so long ago. I don't think prove it. You
said good evening, sir.
Oh, that's right. I did.
Yeah, you did. So there we go.
All right, I'm going to put a stop to this. That's enough. I tortured him long enough. Good to have you on, inviting. How are you? How are you, hon?
Dorsey.
Now, then finding that there are some health conditions going on, then it's good, you know, because it's good to be going in the right direction.
She said once you get rid of a lot of that inflammation in your body, they'll really start to be able to pinpoint what's going wrong with the body. So we went down. I had the whole family when we were down in Scottsdale for the Limitless event with Ken McElroy. I literally went in and had the whole family do our labs with her. So our whole family knows exactly what we're low on, what we're high on, so she can start to help us figure out how to go forward. Because what I really like about her approach is she's a naturopath, but she also uses Western medicine when necessary. So she's not anti-Western medicine, because there's some things Western medicine does very, very good. We've got some of the best trauma medicine in the world. But we just don't take. We don't do.
Probably that's what they.
When it comes to preventative medicine, we suck here in America. Absolutely suck.
Well, you brought up cleanse. An old friend of CJ and I's, Bix Weir from Road to Ruta. I know he always off and on. He'll go on the cleanse, and his wife they'll post up, what she does and her ingredients and what she's doing. So yeah, those cleanses, those definitely help out a lot.
It helps you take the heavy metals out of your body, puts you in a good state of mind, because it's a 21-day cleanse. And what happens they say if you do anything for 21 days, you start to form habits.
Becomes a habit,
So it becomes a habit. What I found was, and here's the cool part. So you're on very clean diet, like you're literally fruits and vegetables and the cleanse mix only for the first 11 days. And then you add protein to it. And that's like light protein, like literally like farm raised chickens that have been pampered and fed beer, and they eat clover and stuff like that, whatever. Like you have to eat like really clean farm raised chickens. And then you start adding things to your diet after that. So it's not just 21 days. You do 21 days, but then you start adding things to your diet, and then you start noticing what happens. Like the first time I ate red meat, my stomach said, fuck you. No way. Didn't like it at all. And I was like, oh shit, this ain't cool. This ain't cool. Cause I like a cow, man. I like a cow. I do. And now what I found is that I don't tolerate meat real well. So now I have to be careful. I have to go light on it. I went to the damn Brazilian barbecue, and it damn near killed me for 2 weeks. So now I know one of my food intolerance, one of the things that happens. So I have to be cool with that. Chill out. I eat as good as I can, and then every once in a while I'll have that as a treat, and then I always pay for it now. Now I got to pay for it because it just messes my gut. I get bloated, and it's just whatever. So I found some things, also like processed corn.
A lot of people don't connect the two in regards to the gut and the mind, but it's kind of one of the same. Like your stomach and your gut's kind of a second brain, and that's why nutrition plays an important part in regards to mental health. So, you can, as opposed to going on a prescription medication, and you're right, like trauma, like, I shouldn't discredit traditional medicine, too much, but, doctors are very starved for time. I remember when I went through a health situation several years ago, I don't have a traditional doctor. I don't have a family doctor. I don't go, but several years ago, I had a situation going on with a facial spasm that it lasted like 8 years it was basically a compressed nerve in my face, and literally they had to remove part of my skull. There was a certain surgery that went in. By the time that I went and started because you just can't walk into a neurologist and say that I want to have part of my brain removed and have this surgery done. They look at you like you're weird. But by the time that I went in just to see a traditional family doctor and graduate up through the neurologist and others referrals, like literally they would have me on like 8 or 9 different prescriptions, because anytime I mentioned something, they're like, here's a prescription for that. Like I mentioned that, hey, you know what, my spasm, sometimes it keeps me awake at night. They're like, well, you need this to help you sleep at night. I said, you know what, sometimes I've been drinking, and sometimes it leads to depression. Well, here's Prozac every step of the way. And I think that's what's wrong. And I think a lot of pharmacists will tell you that's why we have drugstores on every other corner, because as a country, we're an over medicated society versus focusing on natural solutions, getting back to the root cause. And unfortunately, they don't pay doctors for that. They don't pay to spend time to really get to the root cause of the individual. And again, not discounting traditional medicine, but I think that we have a unique opportunity, and especially when you see what's coming down the pipeline, all these synthetic foods that they're developing, these synthetic vegetables, synthetic meat, in addition to that, like, I'm not sure where you guys live, but in my state of Indiana, we're one of the beta tests, the pilot tests for the 5G networks, where literally I can go down roads and like every other probably 100 yards, there are these towers that are put up, and every one of these towers has a specific power supply directed to it. And what's that frequency doing? What are those high impulse type frequencies doing to us neurologically? So there's a lot of things coming at us, and that's why it's just important right now to get back to focus on our individual health for us, you know, for our families, to be able to make sure that we can take care of our families. Kind of what I'm deeming kind of like a medical revolution in our country, getting back to, you know, we're seeing with psychedelics, a lot of the research is coming out with psychedelics. It's in there's a Netflix movie that was released talking about different, you know, how mushrooms are used, and the doctor goes through and like clinical studies that they're proving these things. So I think the timing is right to get people apt to say, hey, you know what, if traditional medicine has failed you, maybe it's time that you look for more of a holistic approach to healing yourself for a better quality of life.
What I learned about it was, you know, that the human body has a cannabidiol system, a whole system that functions on CBD. And the CBD has been removed from our foods. So in the days, a lot of hemp was grown in the United States, and all over. It grows wild. It's a weed. And what that weed did was it took over crop space when crops weren't there. But that hemp was used for textiles, oils, rope, all these types of things.
Rope would not have gotten the Europeaners to the New World. So
yeah, it was hemp, and it was hemp, and the hemp has CBD in it, and this CBD leaked into the soils. The CBD covered the fields, and when they did grow corn, and they did grow spinach, and they did grow broccoli, and these things, the CBD was in the plants, and no longer is it in our soil, and no longer is it in our plants that we eat. So we have to supplement with CBD in order to just think of your cannabidiol system as just a bunch of deflated veins that are waiting to absorb CBD. And once you start putting CBD in your body, you start to open up those new pathways to that cannabidiol system that you have. And that's kind of how I understood it, is that, hey, we need to keep putting this into our diets because the human body was supposed to actually have it, because they've actually identified this system in our bodies that actually requires it.